Yeah, so it's definitely been a while since I put a video out. Any kind of update? Yeah, probably been wondering what I've been doing. So to be honest, what I've been doing has been a whole lot of nothing, because the car is done and like it works really good. I don't really need to make any changes to it, and all the stuff that I'd like to upgrade are kind of expensive and I can't really afford to upgrade them. For example, the transmission, the differential. The fuel system I could probably change out. I actually did get some bigger injectors for it, but I need to get like a nice radium fuel cell and tank for it to actually put the bigger injectors to use. Now, one thing you might notice about the car is we did change up the front fenders to some ugly ass Duraglass fenders that don't fit for shit. Like, really don't fit. And you can also see some damage there. That was from LS Fest. I actually crashed the car into LS Fest and ripped the whole front corner of the car off. There is a video of it, and yeah, check it out. So basically what happened, front tires just don't have enough grip for the amount of rear grip I have put into this car. If I just throw the car in super hard and basically try to drive it with the back and skate the front end off the ground, you know, it's fine. But the issue is when I'm chasing and I'm left foot braking and constantly loading and unloading the front suspension, it just over pushes the front tires with the amount of grip we have in the back. So basically, it was chasing, kind of lifted off to slow down a little bit and got back on. Felt the car understeer, gave it a little clutch kick to try and swing the back out, and it didn't. It just pushed over in the front, and by the time I realized it wasn't going to come out of it, it was too late to fully stop the car. You can actually see in the video I'm at full lock on the brakes trying to stop the car, and the wheels weren't like locked up. They were still turning, but they were just pushing. So it just kind of skated and hit the front end. Luckily it wasn't going too fast. I got it down to maybe like 15-20 miles an hour, but it hit right on the wheel and put all that forward energy into that control arm, and it just snapped the control arm, which there snapped the coilover. Luckily we were able to get it kind of booger welded back together at the track to get it loaded on the trailer, but obviously not safe enough to compete or drive with. So that was a little bit upsetting because the car was actually running phenomenal. Here's a clip of the car actually performing like it should. But yeah, so for next year we're just definitely gonna have to run a stickier tire up front. These KR28 Kendas 180 treadwears, they're fine in the back. Could use a little bit more side bite, but for the price and availability, you know, it's a good tire for drifting, and you know, I definitely still recommend them. Just not on a car that's set up with tons of rear grip. I probably wouldn't recommend running them on the front. So we're definitely going to change those up on the front, but in the rear, I mean, they're great budget burners. They don't delam, consistent wear. They don't fall apart. I haven't had them fall apart. Lap wise, I get, you know, 2 to 3 laps out of a set, and that's with it set all the way up at you know, the higher boost setting of like 14 pounds. So it's not terrible. Good tire. I enjoy it. Now mechanically, the engine is mint, you know, still runs good, makes tons of power. Fuel pump is kind of not able to keep up right now. We do have a fuel correction put in there to keep it from going lean, but we are seeing almost, you know, 15 psi pressure drop up at high boost, which is not good. So that is something we're going to have to address in the off season. So in other news, not related to the Mustang at all, I've got my van here. The van did great all year. Had no issues with that. Made it to all of our events, towing with no issues at all. G8's back in the corner there. So the G8 motor is out, starting to get torn down. Debating if I want to put that LS in there or do a Barra swap, because I'd like to have a car to run Ford Fest. You know, I think my my American Ford has a American Chevrolet engine, so why not put an Australian Ford engine in my Australian Chevrolet? You know, I think it'd be neat, fun, and be able to run Ford Fest. And in other news, I bought a new tow rig. So I picked up a 2013 Ram 2500 diesel. Very, very nice truck. I absolutely love that thing. It's honestly the best fuel mileage vehicle I've owned in a long time too. So I'm really excited about that. You know, it's got all the bells and whistles on it, and it's a great, reliable vehicle that I know will be able to pull a good sized trailer reliably. Which is honestly what's next on my list of things I need to get. I need to get an enclosed trailer. I have too much equipment, tools, vehicle, spare parts, wheels, tires, all that, and I just can't justify fitting all of that stuff on an open trailer and in the bed of the truck. Plus I did kind of get something for at the track to keep all my stuff in, and you know, like all my tools, and move all that stuff around. It's actually something that I had a long time ago when I drove my GTO, and I drove for Ice 9. So it actually still has my old GTO livery on it. It's pretty cool. I actually really like this thing. I'm glad I finally got it back. So I have my pit cart. So this was the old pit cart I used to use for my drift stuff. And I mean, like, it's absolutely massive, so I'm gonna need a bigger trailer. But it's nice to just have these big cabinets here that I can fit like all my wheels, tires, fuel jugs, pop-up canopies. And then down here it's got a nice little access to put jack stands, chairs, stuff like that in. Little handle, makes it easy to move around. Then on this side, this is a small cabinet, so you can see it's relatively small in there. Probably just put like a whiteboard, or you know, maybe even like a little screen in there for something if you want to like go back and watch GoPro videos or something like that. Laptop. And then in here you can fit a small toolbox. So you can fit a small toolbox in here, or you know, just basically whatever you wanted. But it's a nice little pit cart. But I'm definitely not going to be able to fit it on my trailer with my car, because you can see how big that thing actually is. I really would like to get back to working on this thing, which is another reason why I need to get an enclosed trailer. Once I get an enclosed trailer, I can put the Mustang in the trailer and actually get back to work on this. The suspension and everything on this car is all done. It definitely needs new brakes, but we went through, and I gotta change the control arms out. But we went through and put all new arms. Let's see if I can get under here. All new arms and everything on this car. So brand new control arms, top to bottom, new bushings, coilovers. Gas tank's in the back seat right now, which has a, I don't remember what exactly the Hellcat water pump or Hellcat fuel pump is. I think it's like a 525 liter hour pump. But we put one of those pumps in it, built a Venturi scavenging system for it and all that, so we can still run the factory tank with crossover and all that. Then obviously the motor is out of here and all torn down already. I modified some camber plates so I can put actual camber plates on this car, because I hate the strut top bushing setup that comes with these G8s, GTOs, and Camaros. So we did go over, switch over to a camber plate, which that in itself was a nightmare to do. I don't know if any of you guys have tried drilling out the center of a spherical bearing before, but it's not fun. Easier way to do it would have been just to swap the whole front suspension over to Camaro stuff instead of trying to use a Camaro camber plate on a G8 strut, because they're different diameters. Wasn't fun. Another change we did make on this car, we swapped over the fans. So we put some bigger fans on here. Nice Doral fans. This is like, I think it's 4,800 CFM worth of fan now. And before, this thing would get a little bit warm. It wouldn't get like super hot, but it would get on the warm side. So it would get up to like 210, 220 sometimes. With these fans now, I have to fight to keep the temps up. So if I run these fans, say I kick them on at like 130 degrees, I've done 6-7 hot laps in this car and it will stay under 180, which is really good. But the issue is sometimes it likes to stay under 160. So what I did is I ran since I have the PDM and everything to control fan kick on and all that, we set it so that the fans kick on at 160 and usually it'll stay around 180, 185. So which is really nice and keeps the car super reliable. You know, obviously we've been doing oil changes every event. So the one thing I'm trying to decide right now though is if I take this motor out, tear it down, go through it, or if I focus on the G8 motor that I have. So G8 motor is all torn apart under there. We found out what was wrong with that, why it was smoking, and it was just a head gasket. So the head gasket was not seated all the way. It honestly looks like somebody forgot to torque 2 of the bolts because 2 of the bolts were not torqued all the way. So I'm guessing it was either poor maintenance or, yeah, I don't know what could have caused the head bolts to come loose. I've honestly never just seen head bolts come loose before when they were torqued properly. So, but everything else looked good. The heads looked good, the block looked good, rods, pistons, crank, all that stuff looked good. So one thing I did this time, I made a huge mistake honestly when I built this motor, or before I built this motor, is I just took everything out and kind of left it just laying out and it all got rusty. So this time I actually bagged everything and sprayed the hell out of it with WD-40 before I bagged it. That way it doesn't rust. And then this is all the parts from the motor here. So we got the rockers, pistons and everything are in the bag right there. Gonna get some new accessories for it, so it's gonna need a new alternator, water pump, all that. But like I said, I don't even know if the LS is going to go back in it. We might do a barrel motor, which I think would be really cool. Anyways, going into next year, I think the main plan is going to be to fix the fuel system on this car. Basically change out the tank, get some better pumps in there, change out injectors, retune it, see if we can make over 1,000 wheel horsepower with this thing. I'd really like to do that. Just kind of like just a goal, you know, something to aim for. And cosmetically, I was gonna do a bunch of cosmetic work to this car and clean it back up, but honestly it ain't that bad. Car still looks great on track. You know, little nicks and scrapes here and there. Maybe we'll reshoot the bumper, reshoot the hood. And I'm really not a fan of how these fenders fit, so we might do the fenders. And honestly, now I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm probably gonna end up redoing the front end, and then while I'm at it, paint the rear bumper, paint my Yeet bumper. I don't know. It's either going to be like an all or nothing thing. I'm either going to fix it all or probably just leave it. But on track as it is right now, still looks cool. I still love the way this car looks. I got to build a new bash bar for it because I've just bent that bash bar back into place like 3 times. And I think it's about time I actually build a new bar for it, so we might get on, do that. And like I said, front tires, got to get some sticky front tire boys for this. But anyways, that's going to be it for this one. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update, what I've been up to, and I'm going to try and start making videos more often now. So, until the next one, I'll catch you guys later.